This right here is the perfect example of why the Democratic Party is absolutely cooked.
But we will only be heard if we vote. As the saying goes, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. I am so sick of watching Democratic figures spend their time going after Joe Biden. And no, it's not because I think that he's a sweet little baby who should be protected and you can never say a negative thing about him. It's because if you are a Democratic figure and you have a large platform and you spend more time doing that than you do talking about the fact that Republicans are challenging birthright citizenship and that they're proposing the largest cuts to Medicaid SNAP in American history, deporting people without due process. If you spend more time talking about Joe Biden than you do talking about those things, it's clear you don't actually care about making things better. You just want to make yourself look better and distance yourself from him because you think it's going to make you more electable in a Democratic primary. And the only person who I have seen answer this question in a way that I thought was not only acceptable, but I thought had a real string of leadership to it was Pete Buttigieg, who was basically like, should he have run for re-election? Maybe, maybe not. But it's a lot easier for us to give opinions on that now after it's already happened, when in reality is right now we have way more important things that we need to focus on. So if you want to spend your time stuck in a fucking loop back in June or July of 2024, if that's what you want to spend your time doing, you do that. But the rest of us are going to be out here focused on the shit that we can do to make people's lives better in July.
It keeps getting worse for Democrats. They're now coming in with this lady. When you take a look at this plus-size lady, she spoke at the DNC. According to videos and news I just got, Olivia is a Democrat's secret weapon to winning back young male voters. I came across this recently. Democrats are spending a lot of money to bring back young voters, and look at who they are putting forward to do that. They came in with Tim Walz, thinking he's in the best position to win back young voters. It didn't work. So bringing in her in these positions is their best option.
If we just understood that the problems we're having with young men shifting to the right, it's not because they don't agree with us on the policy. They do agree with us on the policy. It's because they feel like we don't understand the struggles they're facing, the actual struggles, not the perceived struggles of the masculinity crisis or whatever it is, the actual struggles. And instead, we just kind of want to blame them for all of our problems.
Right. I think there's a lot of that I just fully agree with. I mean, we just don't message to men, right? And I was like we don't message in a way that resonates to men. Something that you kind of responded to that I've seen a lot is, well, the reason why Republican messaging resonates with men is because men want bad things, right? So men want to have sex and own women, right? Like they want to dominate everybody. And Republicans say, you get to do that. And then Democrats can't say that. So we just lost men. It's over, right? What are you talking about? A lot of times it will be men that are liberals who will agree with that shit. I'm like, dude, what is going on? There's a lot of men that don't think that way, obviously. And it's just such a negative view to take on half of the human race.
Well, I also think it's just so abundantly clear that the people who say these things don't actually spend time talking to young men. You know this because we know each other in real life, but I spend a lot of time on college campuses, and I spend a lot of time with
young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys, and in that I realized even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who supported Black Lives Matter. And so I feel like people just kind of lump them into this box when the truth is, again, a lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcomed in it.
They're not talked to, right? And yeah, they're not welcome. That's true. There's a lot of times where it's being masculine characteristics seem like they're frowned upon, and they're kind of welcomed and championed by the Republican Party. And masculine characteristics are not characteristics that are intrinsically bad, right? And I think that some Democrats have presented it that way. Now, obviously not most Democrats, but it's this perception that a lot of guys have had.
Yes, when you take a look at the whole situation and how these people are responding to this, is crazy. Look at what they are saying here. That she's moving around school campuses, seeing people, align with them. I don't know if these people actually realize what is going on. What Charlie Kicks is doing is more effective than what these people are struggling to imitate. And look at the kind of people they are putting out to do that. You can't convince a man with this kind of tone. It is impossible. So when I see her sitting here talking with more confidence, I understand they are being paid. Yeah, they are being paid to do all this. And it's not working. If by now they don't realize this strategy they struggle to put forward in 2024 with Kamala didn't work, they should sit up. Yes. Democrat to me now, they're just like in fact, let me not say it. Yes, a clown show. Yes.
Did he use my weight loss as an insult? What?
I'm the person that's in charge of bringing young men back to the Democratic Party, according to Donald Trump Jr., Trump War Room, Libs of TikTok. And while none of that's actually true, every single time I saw one of y'all posting about me, I had one main thought at the top of my head. Y'all are a bunch of y'all are the ones that made it about a woman and her identity and the way that she looks. Something that y'all consistently claim the Democrats do. You don't actually give about young men. Instead, a lot of you want to talk about my weight. You're using pictures of me from about 65 pounds ago. So let me ask you this. If I lose another 65 pounds, will y'all actually raise young men's wages? Will you actually increase funding to mental health services? Or are you just going to find another way to deflect from the fact that y'all don't actually have any policy plan to help them? Y'all can keep making this into some kind of big joke of, oh yeah, let's send her to every frat house in the country. I'm not afraid to go into frat houses or to go to college campuses or to talk to Republicans because unlike y'all, I don't think that they're all shallow assholes. I think that they're actual people who can hold a conversation, but clearly, based off the way you talk about them and the way that you treat them, you think that they're dumb as shit. Well, I actually don't. So I'm going to continue to advocate for young men to get the policy agenda that they do deserve. And I'm going to continue to lose weight. And then maybe when I finally do drop that next 65 pounds, we can revisit this conversation and see if you can actually stand on business.
Yes. You can clearly see that this lady is upset how people are reacting, roasting her on social media. But if you put yourself out there, expect that. Yes, you should expect all these people will be standing up to you. The kind of way, the manner in which she's presenting this, it looks easy. It like everything is on their palms. When I look at it, I laugh all through because this method they are struggling to push forward is not working. Yes.
Shaping the 2024 election, shows like the Joe Rogan Experience certainly helped Donald Trump and Republicans connect with millions of Americans, including key swing state voters and younger audiences. And now Democrats are looking to replicate that model. According to the New York Times, liberal strategists are pushing the party's rich backers to help assemble an army of left-leaning online influencers to create their own podcast empire. But as the Time notes, right-leaning touchstones like Rogan's podcast were not built by political donors and did not rise overnight. So can the party really podcast their way back into power? What do you think of that line?
Podcast their way back into power was powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful line.
A lot of them. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Jason is back with us. So first of all, give us this. First, I mean, your take on this theory that somehow if you had the right podcast, it would have landed better. Voters would have reacted. Because I'm old enough to remember Joe Rogan coming out in support of Bernie Sanders.
I know.
When the Democratic Party was like, we don't want to have anything to do with Bernie Sanders. If they would have at the time said, okay, let's see what this populist message is. And if it does resonate with voters, maybe Joe Rogan today would be
right. The Joe Rogan of the left.
The Joe Rogan of the left.
They had the Joe Rogan of the left. He endorsed Bernie, but it's a little weird to try and reverse engineer it this way.
Right.
And I'm not saying I don't want somebody to give me lots of money. I have a podcast.
You'd accept the job.
I would accept it. But it's a little weird to reverse engineer it. It's like kind of like you want to write a book but you make a movie of it first to write the book.
Right.
It's like not the natural order of things a little bit. I do understand wanting to right some of the wrongs from 2024.
Take a look at these. The Democrat Party is blowing $20 million to win over young men. It is called Speaking with American Men. Someone in the party thought this was a genius move, but it's exactly why people are leaving the Democrat Party in droves. So after the Democrat call them toxic and ignore what they care about for years, they are surprised. Young men reject their nonsense. My 3 Gen Z sons could tell them for free why they don't connect with the Democrat Party. Democrat policies put American last and lying, mocking, and try silencing them. Don't win heart. It is not just bad messaging, it is a value crisis no amount of money can fix. This is the truth, the summary of what is going on with the Democrat Party. And people are saying the person who posted this was a Democrat. Looking at what is going on, he changed his mind. He's no longer a Democrat. So when I see people getting up talking about this whole situation this way,
I feel about people. I don't know.
Well, and a MAGA supporter is like
calling sleeping with you anyway.
I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you see clips after my videos, that is always for the YouTube algorithm.
Who effing who?
People line up for my advice. And you're walking away like I'm stupid.
Carefully who we're going to lionize. Not just us.
Reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids.
Wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed here and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
What did you make of justice will prevail?
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense.
It's definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts.
Because she's fearful of what might happen.
Then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man, Kilmer.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
Yes, sir. Because this is the law and order.